are investing in ourselves, most of the time we are thinking about, what am I going to get? And that's actually scarcity thinking. What am I going to get? What are they going to give me for that money? I need to see how it all lays out. I need to see what they're going to give me and how they're going to take care of me. And it's actually backwards. That is scarcity thinking in the decisions that we're making. And I don't make those kind of decisions when I make investments now. I just don't do it. It's not a good decision. It doesn't lead to good places. And I don't want anyone making decisions based on what are you going to get. What is far more important is that we're making decisions about what happens when we invest in ourselves. What happens to you when you put money, right? Money is energy. Money is a tool that is flowing through our society constantly. We can decide how, if we're putting a thimble in that currency, if we're putting a little thimble out there to hit the money that we're going to take in, or are we putting buckets in the flow of money? Like, are we putting a bucket in and saying, I kind of want a bucket. I don't want a thimble. I want a bucket for myself. Okay. So when we start to think, I want to put the bucket in and receive what is going to cause me to live a comfortable, thriving life, that's the first step, is like, how much are you wanting to receive? And then knowing that if you decide you want to receive a bucket, that the decisions that you're making have to be coming from that level of decision making. They need to be coming from this place of abundance. And I just want to share, like, how does that work? And I wanted to look at this. So this is kind of like uncloaking the decision making process, is that, like I said, what matters most is what happens when you invest in yourself. Who are you showing up as in your life when you plunk that money down? It is not just the value and reciprocity that everybody thinks about. What's really happening is that you create a vacuum in your bank account, or you create a vacuum in that decision that you're making, right? So if you have to take on debt to invest in something, invest in yourself, you're creating a vacuum of energy. And some of us look at it as a drain, like it's going to suck it up and then it's all gone and then there's nothing to create. But again, that's scarcity thinking. What happens when we value our money and we're making decisions from a place of our highest priority, and you're investing your money consciously and mindfully, what happens is you pull the power towards you. You pull the energy, you create a personal vortex of energy, and it creates its own energy as a result. It creates its own momentum in your life. And this is not this like super salesy thing. Like, I want you to see yourself and the power of what you have the opportunity to create for yourself. Seeing money as not just currency, but as a tool that acts as a motivator for you to reach your highest potential. Because that's all it's about. Because when you're investing in yourself consciously, that takes a whole new level of exchange, rather than like putting your money out there and expecting something to get back from it, which is like small thinking. You say, when I invest my money in this, who am I becoming? Right? You really notice who you are. What are you made of? And you notice this jet stream of energy you create as a result of investing in yourself. It's who do you become when that happens? Because that's the person that I want to work with. I want to work with people who show up fully to themselves. And they're like, I'm going to make an investment when it feels good to me. And I'm going to figure out how to pay for it because I am worth that. If I love something and I'm energetically aligned with it, and I feel like at the core of my being, it is going to help me become my best self, then I'm going to find the money, I'm going to find the mental aptitude, I'm going to find the thing inside of me that is going to say, you can do this. You can make this a beautiful thing. You are worth that investment in yourself. Right? Because what happens when we create that vortex of energy is we no longer sweat the small stuff. We refuse to allow resistance to keep us where we're at. we create a buoyancy in our life, in our business, and it drops away the small stuff and it says, I might not know how I'm going to do this, but I do know that I'm ready to swim with the current of energy. I am no longer going to swim against the current, because that's the thing. Scarcity mindset causes us to make decisions that cause us to swim against the current. It makes everything harder for us. It means that we probably aren't going to have the success that we want. But when we're mindfully conscious of the fact that we are so much more powerful than we even know, and we're just looking for this opportunity to tap into that power, it's like cascading down the waterfall. It's like swimming with the current. It's about hooking up to the rails, right? What do we do in trains? Trains are powerful. We still use trains, right? Hundreds of years later, because those tracks keep the train going. It causes the energy needed to get traffic from one place to another to be more simplified and streamlined. We hook up to the train, to the rails, because it makes it easier. That's what we're doing when we get coaching. That's what we do when we're paying for mentoring, is we're hooking up to the rails that someone else has built so that we can have an easier path, so that we can save time, and so we can save money. Right? That's what we're doing. And we're creating abundance in the decision that we're making. And we're creating this prosperity energy. We're hanging out with people who have done this before in close proximity, because we want them to rub off on us. We want the kind of life that they've created for themselves. We don't want to sit in this pool of scarcity and small thinking for the rest of our lives. But what I'm saying to you is that it is important that you realize that there is a good chance that whatever decision you make to decide to move forward is a reflection of you more than it is anything else. Because I know the value that I'm creating in the programs that I've created. We've spent countless hours and time figuring out what it takes for people to be successful, what kind of nurturing and resources they need to live an optimal life. That is all that I would do in my life. That is all I spend my time on, is what can create the rails for people so that they have greater success in a shorter amount of time. That's what I'm all about. That's what my team is about. We only care about that. And I happen to think that a lot of people don't approach it that way. They set their businesses up because they're like, they care about themselves first and foremost, how much money they're going to make. And then if those results are good, then great, right? But we've built the business the whole other way. The idea is, how can we help people have tremendous results and make sure that we create a business that's sustainable? That's a second thought. The first thought is results. And I encourage people to ask those questions. Part of the reason that because I've had so much financial success in my life, I do not run my business from a place of scarcity. And that is the turning point. And I actually want everyone to be able to create their businesses from that place, not because you need more money, but because you want to make an impact. You want to help people. You want to have them help them get the transformational results that you're promising. And I think it helps to hang out with people who have that same kind of mentality, because you're going to create your business in a very, very different way. And while I can't guarantee anything for you, because you are the only one who can guarantee things for yourself, and the way that you can guarantee things for yourself is by taking action, by putting yourself in the right room, by surrounding yourself with people who really light you up, by linking arms with the right mentor who you know is going to bring out the best in you, surrounding yourself with the right people, and getting yourself in a position of moving forward. Whatever program I have that speaks to you, I'm just going to tell you, lean into that, because this is an important decision. And I want to invite you to be a part of what we've created. And I want you to move past any kind of scarcity decision-making that maybe has kept you trapped in the cycle that you've been in so far. Like, how ready are you to break that cycle? Because my guess is that what we've created is going to be the perfect avenue to help you break that cycle. And if you're just focused on how much something costs and what you're going to get back from it, you're not making the right decision. You need to step back and realize and spend some time thinking about, who do you become when you're set up for success? most of us have been burned badly by past decisions when we've made investments, especially in our business and coaching. I do not want you to do that. But I also want to honor the fact that it is scary to invest in yourself and know that it's going to be the right place. But I can also say to you that you are the one that is making a decision about yourself more than anything. Do you feel like you're ready to believe in yourself more than ever before? And if so, how can you make sure to keep that vibration alive in your life and your business? iProsper is set up to help you keep that vibration alive day in and day out for a whole entire year of working with myself, working with my team, working with an incredible group of people. And I know nothing else on the planet that is very well suited for that nurturing environment. But again, think about what you're ready for. Think about how you can set yourself up for success. I got lucky. What would that have been? 30 years ago, 34, 35 years ago when I met my friend and I got to watch her business, her husband, I got to watch my friend, her father, build a company that would ultimately be sold for over $500 million. It changed my life. Very few people get that kind of opportunity. But what I've seen is that because I've learned how to make decisions from a place of abundance, I'm good at teaching people how to do that for themselves, how to build wealth, how to build their business. And it's taken me, that 35 years to figure it out. And so the investment that you're making is actually quite small in comparison to the hundreds of thousands of dollars I've invested in myself to get where I am today. So that's my invitation. I hope that this is causing you to kind of think about your own life and how you make decisions. And if you're just focused on what am I going to get, who do I become in the course of investing in myself? Who do I become as a result of that decision? What vortex of energy am I creating in my life? And am I ready to hold space for that vortex of energy?